For this specific project, like everything that I do, like I have directors that very much so inspire me, like Kubrick, Jonathan Glazer, Fincher, Lynch, Tarkovsky. I like directors that experiment and innovate, break the rules, and that's stuff that I want to do, while making this film, anything that I do. But some of the films, like I did look at films, singular films, just in terms of the tone of this film, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ordinary People, American Beauty. Um, Paris, Texas was also one that I kind of looked to because I feel like those films, beside even Texas Chainsaw Massacre does this, but it really does sort of grasp what it's like to be a family, and this and Rocky Wake very much so is a family story, as messed up as it gets.
No, I mean, what really drew me initially was the back and forth of the story, where we're in modern day, but then we get pulled into this whole other world, that takes place in the late 70s, early 80s. And the thing that fascinated me the most about it was that it's not an immediate interpretation of life in the 70s and in the 80s. It's very much what the daughter envisions it to be. So, where not everything's always accurate or perfect and exactly how it might have been, it's interesting to see what, through somebody else's eyes that wasn't from that time, envisions that life to be like as best as she can. And especially from somebody that she's really not that close with. So it's like this whole new fresh story that's being told, not to us, but also to the character in the story. It's a really touching story about a family, everything that they go through, and the things that surround them at the same time, where it's not just this is what's happening immediately in our household, but this is also happening around us, and how we're going to be able to merge these two worlds together.
I can think about it a second because I can cut this.
Smart.
Yeah, this truly is. I think I do think it's something new, and I say that very humbly. I think that it is something new. I did not want. One of the things for me is I wanted to. People like Stranger Things, people like Stand by Me, people like The Goonies. Like people like that '80s feeling, and I do too. But I want to give people a new perspective on the period because think about all of these films that you see like Killers of the Flower Moon, Gangs of New York, Barry Lyndon. All these directors were not alive back in those time periods. But that's what I want to do with this film is I want to offer a new perspective to the audience. I want to give a new perspective for film, for story, for characters. I want the audience to see something that they've not seen before.
Well, there's a lot. Um, I mean, for one, the stories are different. They're never cookie cutter. They're never, copy and paste stories. Every time that you get a script from Dylan, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new, life, a whole different dimension that you get transported into. It's never the same, and everything, it's always very raw and unique, and the stories really are truly just incredible stories. And he's always willing to take risks, I think, is what's different about him. Um, there's no keeping it PG. It's like if we're gonna really tell a story that's gonna either mimic real life or we want it to be as raw as possible, we're gonna say the things we want to say, and it's gonna be, you know, everywhere. And the thing about him, I think, that is different is that there's really no rules. If he gets an idea in his head, like he said kind of about me, it's like, no, fuck it, we're gonna try that, well, let's do it. Like, if this doesn't look good, let's go do it somehow differently. It doesn't have to be the way that everybody thinks it's supposed to be. Like, there's no rules really to it. It's super experimental, and I think that when it comes to real independent filmmaking, that's how it should be, because it's there's no safety nets. What made me want to kind of take a different direction and be a producer, especially on this film, is I've spent the past couple years learning how every department operates, because I wanted to be able to take those tools and really be the best producer I can, and really understanding, hey, art needs a little bit of extra time sometimes, and that's something you can't rush. Or hey, wardrobe is going to be doing this for a reason, and this is why they need to operate this way. And really understanding the way that every department comes together to create a good team is what I really wanted, what really drew me into wanting to be a producer, is being able to take control and understand how everybody is going to move, and seeing it come together, I think, is really incredibly satisfying, especially when you know you have a great team.
You know, Tamara, she's just, I mean, she's the real deal, you know? Like, I think she's very serious about, you know, what she does. And that's something that, you know, that's just what I like, are serious people, you know? Like, I mean, Pesadilla and vignettes, I mean, you know, they're very quick shoots. They're very, you know, we didn't have all the time in the world to do them. They're very much so very rushed productions, but I mean, you know, we won't use it as an excuse, because when you're an indie filmmaker, I mean, that's just kind of what you got to do, especially this day and age. You know, you can't afford to not make a film for 5 years. You know, like, it's just people are constantly working trying to get their name out there. But you know, just the fact that somebody, you know, wanted to take that step and the initiative to want to produce something that I was making, you know, it just kind of told me like, hey, you know, this is a very different production. This is no, this is not Pesadilla. This is not vignettes. This is not anything that we've done before, you know. And just, you know, her ambition and dedication, you know, and her support has just very much so inspired me to want to just work at that next level. You know, like, we're not going to have all the money in the world for Rocky Wake, but we're going to, in a way, treat it like we do, because we're not going to be limited with this film. And it's very nice to have a producer like Tamara, that, you know, supports you with what you do and supports your ambition. And, oh, are you sure about this, sure about that? You know, she's just more so like, you know, fuck it, let's do it, let's make this film the best that we can. Well, I just wanted to say, like, when it's experimental, you know, we're not blind to the fact that, like, we're going to experiment, we're going to try new things, but we're also going to try to make something that is marketable. You know, we do think of the audience, we do put the audience first, but it's just like, I mean, films a bit. I mean, look, there's all kinds of films out here. There's good films, there's bad films, there's mid films, there's horror films, there's family films, drama films, comedy films. People they've seen everything under the sun, and you're not going to know what people like unless you actually step out of the box and try new things. And you know, and yeah, sometimes it might not work, but I would rather swing for the fences and miss than just tap the ball a little bit and just watch it roll at my feet.
Additionally, we also have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, Rocky Wake Film, and um, where else? Where else?
Did you mention the Instagram?
I did mention an Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, also my personal YouTube, Dylan England. I mean, I'm always talking about the stuff that I do on there, but social media is going to be your best bet.
You can also check out the Smoky Dog Entertainment page. We try to stay up to date as much as we can on that, and anything Rocky Wake is always going to get put on there.